In 3.
Is the lighting good? Or,
Yeah. So who do I have here with me today, man?
My name is Jip.
Can you say it again?
My name's Jip.
Jip?
Yeah, spelled
That's
like
a cool name.
J-I-P. So, just out here chilling. And
What's your age and current living situation?
my age is, I'm 46.
Yeah,
but,
you look young, homie.
Yeah, I get that a lot. But I'm actually homeless. I'm out here on the streets. I try to do, I'm like a hotel homeless. So I'm not like living on, I'll sleep out on the streets if, I'm struggling. Yeah, but I try to, make enough money to get a hotel room. So.
If you don't mind me asking, without incriminating yourself or anything like that, how do you receive funds or get funds or hustle up funds to stay in a hotel?
I don't want to say anything.
That's fine.
Illegal
Say
on my
less.
part,
Say
but
less.
yeah. But I get money. Usually, I'll distribute things that are legal for that are usually paraphernalia. Or
Yeah,
stuff that's
that
legal.
works. Yeah. Glass
some people-
pipes, things like that. Yeah, that are legal. Yes.
and
Okay.
I try to encourage
What about
people,
holding a sign or flying a sign or anything?
No, I don't do that. I don't feel comfortable panhandling or asking for money. It usually doesn't go well. I don't usually make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I've actually been given money, and I've been given more money without even asking for it. You know what I mean?
Cool.
And far more than I've tried to actually get. So
Yeah.
it kind of comes and goes.
That's awesome, bro. So how long have you been displaced, let's say?
Just about a year. So I'm like new homeless, but like long enough that I started off in the winter, so it was kind of like
Really
that was
cold,
that was
huh?
like the worst part, and then got to the summer. Summer's enjoyable, so
Yeah. So what's a day in a life like out here for you? I mean, is it hard? Do people are people mean? Is there like camaraderie out here in these streets?
those are wow. That's a lot of good questions, and just you touched on a lot of good points. It's hard being out here. A lot of people think that I'm out here because I'm lazy or I lack some kind of work ethic or
Discipline.
my family thinks that in some cases. People who don't have loved ones who are unsheltered, they think that they're probably alcoholics or they have mental illness and they're crazy.
Yeah.
And some of those stigmas are true, but it's usually a very small percentage of people that are unsheltered that fall into that category.
Yeah.
Me personally, I've been out here because I was doing some volunteer work with activists and amongst protesters, and I just kind of caught on to a string of self-educating topics and subjects, and I found that I was contributing to a lot of the problems that I saw, and I'm a double engineer. I'm a sound engineer and a network engineer, and I
Bro,
saw
that's
myself
awesome.
contributing. Yeah, I was working myself and my health into the ground, and humans aren't made to work till till you can't work.
So you can't work
Yeah,
no more.
and it's just like you can't even enjoy the money. I was making good money, but it was just like I was becoming an alcoholic, and just my body, my systems were failing. I was getting high blood pressure. So, I just had to take a break for a little bit. Well, I ended up getting laid off during COVID, but then it was during that time that I was like, trying to find myself and discover a new life that wasn't so stressful and wasn't structured on running myself in the ground for a corporation or for somebody else to get rich.
Yeah. Would you say that it was because you were making enough money that you were financially stable and able to, buy yourself drinks or things of that nature?
Yeah.
Because everybody has something that they do, no matter what they say.
Yeah,
Whether
I
it's
think
smoking a cigarette or whatever.
everybody has their vices. A lot of people
Yes.
that personally judge me, I know that they have vices that
Of course.
that are not worse than mine or any less than mine. But the one thing that I've discovered, the phrase that I like is get comfortable being uncomfortable, and I think that's what happened.
I love that phrase.
When I was living my
David Goggins.
Yeah, my life of being a highly productive member of society. One thing I was doing was I was just comfortable with it, and I would just kind of. It was almost like the rest of my life was kind of signed off, and I was just following the path.
Yeah. Would you say you were kind of on like a rail, just moving and going?
Yeah, and I was just going through the motions of living, and I wasn't really experiencing anything, pushing myself. I was just kind of doing enough just to get by, and it was working, I was getting paid good.
Sufficed.
Yeah, but it was like I didn't have a really passion or a purpose that I was pursuing with the fire and energy and my full focus.
So you weren't as driven as much, would you
and
say?
And I got caught out here, and one thing that my purpose out here was just trying to help the people, the fellow unsheltered people, and a lot of them. There is some bad things that go on out here, but everybody out here is like almost hitting a low point in their life. And we're sharing it at the same time. So, I try to help out people the best I can and do whatever I can for them. And
Man. That's cool, man. So you're almost like an angel in some sense. I mean, even though, being out here is definitely not the best of circumstances, so you've learned to, make it work. And like you said, you're in hotels and stuff. So what was life like prior to being, other than, we know you were working, we know you had a job, you were a productive member of society. How was your family life growing up? Did you have a mom, a father, things of that nature?
Well, I had a
wife?
My biological father actually left before I was born. So and then my mom ended up remarrying when I was young.
Yeah.
She went through 2 marriages, so it's kind of, we were bouncing, me and my half brother, my younger brother, we were bouncing between his dad and his dad's fiance at the time, and our mom and our stepdad. So we're going back and forth, and my stepdad was in the military, so we're moving around a lot. So we were moving around in the military and then also bouncing between both sets of parents. So I had ended up going through 14. I had been to 14 different schools by the time I graduated high school.
Man,
so
that's a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, it worked out good because I was so busy. I think it helped my social skills and just trying to blend in and be able to meet new people and not feel out of place. So almost meeting new people was kind of like my
thing to do.
Yeah, my
Yeah, that's how I was. I was never afraid to talk, read in class or things of that nature.
Yeah.
I'm definitely, my wife says I talk too much, but I like to talk to people.
Yeah.
How do you feel about people like me coming up and at least giving you guys conversation, talking to you guys? Sometimes we help hand out blankets, things of that nature.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Do you like it or do you not like it? I mean,
I like it. I like that people are doing it. What you're doing, I think it's good. I don't feel comfortable being the one kind of being asked questions. I have a friend that actually she does work with some people within the state government, and they try to address some of the issues that homeless people face.
Yeah.
And she was like, "You should go speak." And I was like, "Well, for one, I don't represent. I've only been homeless for a year. I can represent myself, but I can't speak for other people because they have suffered some real struggles, and it's just like, I mean, I've seen some stuff that people have done, and it's just like I'm like, wow, how can they continue to smile and and just embrace the day and go about their way with some people, it's just like some people are here by choice, and some of them it's they're forced to, and it's their circumstances, but it's I mean it's a tough life, but I mean what else can you do? I mean, you don't want to take your own life, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And,
I'm all over, man. I'm all over Arizona. And I've talked to many people who say that they've done this literally as a social experiment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
Well, I will say this.
Crazy.
I saw on the news, and it was like when I just had become homeless. I was like maybe 3 weeks homeless, and they said they were like, you can come down to this. It was somewhere, I think, on the west side or downtown Phoenix, maybe. And
Probably
like,
Cass.
Yeah, and you can be homeless for a day, and I was like, being homeless for a day is nothing. You can't get the
gist or the grasp of it.
The one thing I can say about the biggest challenge, and I'd been homeless when I was 16. I was homeless for like a month, and I pretty much got kicked out. I got in trouble, got kicked out, and then I got accepted back and by my family. But like being homeless for a day does no justice, because what it does is it makes you think like, oh, this isn't so bad, and if anything, it's a misconception for the people who actually are homeless for a good amount of time.
I love that.
The quick thing, rebuttal I want to say to that is when you're homeless, you don't have access to a sufficient place to sleep, so you're losing sleep. A lot of people say, okay, well, I can lose sleep and I can still get by. And I was like that. I operated off of like 4 hours of sleep, when I was up.
Of course, yeah, that's
living.
how.
And it wasn't
You're
bad.
part of the no sleep crew.
Yeah, but I was sleeping in a bed, and it was, even though it was short, it was good sleep, quality sleep. When people sleep on the streets, it's usually like you're sleeping on a bench,
Nervous.
or you're sitting up, and a lot of times you get woken up like right when you're going into deep sleep, and you have to get up and leave, or somebody's like, hey, you can't be here, you got to get out of here, So you're not getting a complete
sound.
You're not getting good rest. And some people say, oh, I partied for a weekend down in Cabo and we didn't rest at all, and that's different. When you go past a week of that,
No, the body needs sleep.
your body starts reacting in different ways that you need
That you've never seen before.
Yeah, you
Sleep
can't-
deprivation
yeah,
is
exactly.
awful out here.
Yeah.
Now I see you have a lot of stuff here with you.
Yeah, this is. I want to touch upon on the sleep. Another thing
Yeah, go
is
ahead.
nutrition, and I'm huge on nutrition,
Yes.
and I can eat basically anything, but I have a palate for high quality stuff too. And I used to be a gym rat, and I would eat
I
good.
can tell, yeah.
Yeah, and what happened was, like, say for example, if I ate McDonald's for lunch, in the afternoon I would my energy levels, I'd feel like just tired, like I want to take a nap, and I'd be like, I got enough my regular sleep last night. What's going on? And I was finding it was my diet, and like nowadays being homeless, like eating McDonald's, that's like a good quality meal. I've gone like days just eating gummy bears or candy or whatever. Like
They say you are what you eat.
Yeah, and it's just like when your body is getting that kind of just bad nutrition combined with bad sleep, and then you're out here,
ripping and running.
Yeah, and you're being kind of cast off. When people find out you're homeless, you walk in with your backpack, and they treat you like I think of it like if there were two families that were bitter rivals, and you went into the grandmother's house of the rival family and got caught pissing by the grandmother in her kitchen. The way she would look at you. That's how some people look at homeless people. Being homeless is like the new discrimination. You know what I mean?
It's almost like a
every
disease.
race. Yeah, every race that's come to our country and had to experience racism or discrimination to some point. That's what today. That's what homeless people are.
It is.
And I'd say out of 10 people, I'd say 7 of them are completely rude to homeless people, and then 2 just kind of are
iffy.
Yeah, and then there's one that is just will try to. They're so kind and so passionate.
See what we can do.
They'll almost, it's like they try to make up for the other 9 people, not their lack of compassion and empathy.
Yeah,
and
people lost how to be humanitarians.
Yeah, I mean there'll be people. They'll go places and get food. Specifically, not even for themselves, but just for people that they pass by on the street. And it's just it's good because I think the one thing that really hurts is when you go to talk to somebody. I just got a phone, but for about a week I didn't have a phone or a watch, and I'd walk up to somebody and say, "Excuse me," just to get the time, and they would literally not respond, and I'd say it 3 times.
Sorry.
And then if they don't respond by 3 times, I would just turn on, just let them be, because they were ignoring me, and I don't want to be get in their face hey, I'm a person, you got,
I'm a person.
yeah,
too,
I don't want it.
What's going on, brother? Yep. How you doing?
Yeah,
It's cool.
he's a good guy.
Yeah.
No, you're good, bro. But
so you touched on, not to cut you off, you touched on carrying things.
Yeah.
Now in sleep deprivation and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, I see you have a lot of stuff here. I mean, it has to be hard carrying that stuff with you. And when you said something about sleep, sleep deprivation, I want to ask you, I mean, a lot of people that I talk to, they say that they have to use, clear glass just to stay up so that they don't get their things stolen.
Exactly.
I mean, it's hard to even keep your ID, your social security card.
Yeah.
And how have you managed to keep those things?
I haven't, to be honest.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm speaking out of turn.
I've had my wallet taken twice while I was sleeping,
sorry,
and that's a very good
Big
point.
thing,
And that's a huge thing. A lot of people that don't do drugs probably do drugs if they're homeless, because you'll do drugs to stay awake and keep you awake so that you're not as soon as you fall asleep,
Everything's gone.
you become a
victim.
target and a victim. And some people actually, target other people. Like, oh, they've been up for a little bit.
3 days.
They should probably get some rest here pretty soon. And they'll
Follow that person around.
they'll track them, and wait for them to go to sleep. And
when they do, they'll take everything and then help them look for it.
Help them look for it. Yeah, and that's the worst thing, because when you steal from people, that's bad. But when you steal from somebody that trusts you, what you're doing is you're eroding their trust and you and just others, and then they can't trust other people, and that it's just it's like a
revolving door.
It's a cancer that just spreads.
Yeah, it just keeps going, man.
And what I tell like my peers is like, you don't see cops stealing guns from each other, you know what I mean? And it's just like our society kind of spits on us, and the last thing we need by the people we share the struggle with is to put our shit on their plate and have them, have to eat it, Like, we shouldn't do that. We should look out for each other. So I've been trying to, preach,
implement these things.
Try to teach those things, and a couple people pick it up. Some people are like, buy it, but they're just waiting for me to go to sleep so they can steal my bags and shit,
Yeah,
but,
isn't that awful though?
Yeah.
To steal from somebody who's in the same boat you're in.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, I know that when human beings do bad things, they suffered some kind of treatment desperation that put them in that place to make them act like that. A lot of people, they don't think like, oh, I suffered, so this is why I want to do this bad act, or to someone else or to someone's property, But I mean, it's hard to take I always try to follow a good moral compass, and I have kids, and I want to make sure that if they could just like had a camera that they can just see me at any time, that I'd be doing something
That's
that
a
they
good
can
way to look at it.
they can admire me and not be
at
ashamed.
least see something that
Yeah.
is always good,
Yeah.
and that's a good way to be, keep a
Yeah.
good moral, be humane,
Oh, yeah.
law-abiding citizen, man.
Yeah.
That's how it needs to be.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's like the kids and the people have lost sight of that. you know?
They and they say you can judge a society by how they treat their less fortunate, And
Yeah.
like, with that being said, I wouldn't think that our time period would be like, viewed as very, very high, or with a lot of respect in that regards, because I think we've missed a lot of things. And I hear like, oh, they've spent. I'm a veteran. I served in the U.S.
Thank you for your
Marines.
service.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you thank you. But I saw this number of how much money the state gave or spent for homeless veterans in Arizona, and I've seen some of the services, and I was like, it didn't equate what I was seeing. Didn't equate to the,
never
and I was
does.
like, that I know a lot of that money is going into probably paying a lot of people and setting up offices.
Padding pockets.
Yeah, and they, you call into a certain place for help, and it's like you don't get an answer. You go down there, and there's like 6 people in the front office, smoking and joking, and then you're like, you hear the phone ringing, and it's like, I literally was in an office one time, and a guy comes in, and the phone's ringing. Well, he comes in, he's like, yeah, I came from El Mirage, and no, I couldn't get through, and I left a voicemail, no callback, and there was literally 6 people in the office, joking around about what they did over the weekend, and that's gonna happen.
That's sad,
I can't say, hey, there's no joking around and talking about your weekend.
Of course not.
But I mean, it's just a small, reflection of what some of the things that we're experiencing, and I mean, there's a lot of when they get money for projects for homeless people,
those grants.
Yeah, those grants. It's not going to where I guess the taxpayer
they
thinks
allocate
it's going.
it.
Yeah,
it's definitely.
Yeah,
not.
there's definitely something. It's not getting to its intended recipient.
It's not matching.
Yeah. And
Handshake's not matching your smile. It's a whole.
And I don't want to
thing.
throw any organizations out, their names out there, but it's not the reality that people think it is.
Yeah,
so.
and that's
But
awful,
I mean,
man.
between normal society and the unsheltered, there's a lot of misconceptions.
Oh,
like
yeah.
people think like, well, homeless people stink, and they shit on sidewalks, and that is true. And one thing I've learned being homeless is, well, we probably stink because we can't. It's hard for us to bathe anywhere.
Yeah,
we
where
can't
are you
even
gonna-
use
yeah.
the bathroom. There's been times, and
I
I
was
was like,
just
why?
gonna say
I was
that,
like,
man.
why do people shit on the sidewalk, or why do in public? There was a time I had to, I had something going on. My stomach was it was not
Yeah.
good, and I had to use the bathroom immediately. I went to one
No
fast
one
food
lets
restaurant.
you.
They wouldn't let me. I didn't have any money to pay for anything. I went to two more restaurants. The next one didn't let me, but the third one, I think it was just the way that I asked, and I was literally sweating at that point. I was like, can I use your restroom, please? And they said it's for paying customers, and I said, please just let me in. They let me use the bathroom, but I was like, if they didn't let me use the bathroom, I would have
You
had
had
to
no
go somewhere,
choice.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so yeah, it's gross using the bathroom in public, but people think that homeless people do it because we're homeless people and that's what we do, and it's not by design. I will say there's some homeless people, very few, that shit on the sidewalk on
Yeah.
purpose, but it's like
Yeah, I know.
majority of
So-
homeless people don't want to be shitting on the sidewalk. How you doing, my good man? He's a homeless guy.
Yeah, I know.
So, but yeah, and it's just like like my nails are clean right now, but I'll go periods. I had a hotel past 2 nights, but I've gone periods where maybe I've gone like 6 days without bathing, and it's just like you use the bathroom at a QT and wash your hands, and it's just like you can't get like your nails clean, and
Yeah.
it's just like it's almost like permanent,
Man,
It's
it's
not
awful,
till like
man.
3 showers that my nails will get clean, and I used to be a clean freak, a germ freak and a germaphobe, and
Yeah.
always washing my hands. And if I touch something dirty, if I throw a piece of trash in the trash can, I don't like touching the the little
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
things.
yeah,
Like
no,
I'll use my
yeah,
foot, or
that's-
I'll use my knuckle to open it, to dump the trash in. It's like if my hand touches it, it's contaminated, and I
Yeah.
won't touch my face for till I wash it. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
just,
that's how it is. I mean, a lot of people out, that are out here, they don't let no one use no restrooms.
Yeah.
Nowhere. In
Yeah.
Phoenix, it's really bad.
Yeah.
There's no restrooms at all. None.
Yeah, and another thing too is they don't let people use the restrooms, and they don't let people charge their phones. That's
Oh, yeah,
becoming a
nothing.
huge
Yeah,
thing.
that's
A
awful.
lot of businesses they'll turn off the power outlets outside, and they'll put blank faceplates, and which
yeah.
I understand that, but I would use the light rail station, the platform,
Oh, yeah.
to charge my devices, and that's a public place, and they actually turn those off or blank them off. And
that's crazy.
I mean, they still have, thank goodness for the city libraries.
Libraries,
But it
yeah.
was just like, if it wasn't for the libraries, a lot of us would be in places that people don't want to see us. And that's the thing, because they'll tell us, oh, you can't be here, you can't go there.
It's
but
like
you
they're
ask them-
pushing everybody
yeah.
out.
And it's like you ask them, well, where can I go? And it's just like, you can go to the library. Well, the libraries, I can't get on the bus because the new bus pass system, it's like, it's always a place that's not convenient, and it's like the cooling centers in the summer are great, but, to get to there is,
A mission.
yeah, for a homeless
Gotta
person
get a bus
to,
pass. Gotta
yeah.
get a light rail pass.
If I was to leave and go use the Shell bathroom here, I have to pack up all my stuff and go in there, or have a friend watch it,
Yeah.
And it's just like it's not easy. Like, oh, go down and get a job, And it's like we have our IDs and our stuff taken from us, and it's like to go get a driver's license. That's a whole day, event.
Day experience.
And I have to plan, days ahead, and I have to get I'm on food stamp, and my food stamp our food stamp cards are hot commodities, so people are always trying to take them, or and I've had to get, I think I'm on my 6th one, and within
wow,
a year,
man,
and it's
I'm
just
so
like
sorry, buddy.
and
Yeah, it's always one thing after another being homeless, and a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
That's what you go through out here.
yeah, and they think it's just sitting around. And I'll tell you what, I have a tent, and there's in the city of Tempe. I was
They banned them.
Yeah, I got trespassed in 5 places. Finally, I asked them, I can't set up here. Where can I set up? And it was then that they were like, you can't set up a tent anywhere in Tempe. And they're trying to ban camping and
Yeah, I know.
pretty much anything that homeless people might do. And
Exactly.
I'm not saying they're doing it just because homeless people doing it, but
It
they're
starts to feel like that after
Yeah.
every little thing you guys try to initiate.
Yeah,
and
and
do.
it was just like they're demanding lights on on bicycles, and then brake lights, it's and helmets. It's a lot of things that it's ironic
would
that
render a homeless person.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I've seen, I hate to say it, I've seen law
Yeah,
enforcement.
immobile.
They'll watch certain homeless people and just and watch them and wait for them to do something wrong. Where it's like, there's cars. This is Scottsdale Road. There's cars racing and speeding up and down
I know,
the
you
street
can hear
all
them,
times
yeah.
of the day, and it's just like, but then you'll see a cop like watching a homeless person, and it's just like, I don't think the that glove fits the hand on that one.
So like I ask everybody, man, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, if you can see that far?
5 years? Oh man. I don't know. Hopefully, I seriously don't know. I do have short-term goals where I'm planning to get make a few improvements, but I'm hoping in 5 years I at least have a roof over my head and a table with the ability to put food on the table. Maybe have my kids come over and have them visit and live with me. And just get back to
good goal.
to what people people call a normal life. So, but I mean, I do like being out here because I think I like helping people. I've
So you have a purpose.
Yeah, and this is like ground zero for the people that need help. So I don't like being out here, but I feel like I can help. Do the most, get the most help accomplished while being out here. So.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, man, as always, it's been a pleasure, man, talking to you, conversing with you. You definitely got all your faculties together, and the streets have not, by any means, you have not been succumbed by the streets, and that's a blessing, man. I know you can do it. All it takes is a little bit of, a hand up, not a hand down.
Yeah.
And this was an amazing interview, man. Do you mind me sharing this on my social media platform? So that people can understand what it's like, and it's okay to come and say hi. It's okay. Don't side eye. Just say hi. Start a conversation. They like to talk too. I would like to say thank you, and it's been a pleasure, man.
Be safe.